Today we are having with us Dr. Krishna Raya. She is presently working as an assistant professor and head in English department at Dharmendra Singh G Arts College, Rajkot. She has done her graduation and post-graduation from Saurashtra University with first class. She has done her PhD in English. Dr. Daya has 17 years of experience in academics. She has topped the university during her graduation as well as post-graduation and has received gold medals for that. She has been functioning as a Board of Studies member and expert with RK University Rajkot, Atmir University and Gujarat Technological University Ahmedabad. She has been working as a content developer with Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University Ahmedabad. In addition to this, she has been working as an editor with 4 national and international journals. She has published 2 books and more than 20 research papers. She has been invited as judge at various events and she has also been chairman at various national and international conferences. Today, Dr. Krishna will be taking stress management session. So over to Dr. Krishna, madam.
A very good morning to all of you. I can see a very huge and wonderful audience in front of me with around 33 participants. Today's topic is stress management. And in fact, it is not a topic which is new to us. Good morning, Vitnani sir.
Good morning, madam. Good morning.
Yes. So when sir asked me to talk about stress management, I was extremely happy that he remembered me, number one. And number two, that though this is an FDP pertaining to engineering, sir could think of a topic that connects everyone. You know, not just technology, but it is our human part, our human and social side, our intellectual side also that works along with technology. So an academician like Vidlani sir can think of this. Otherwise, I'm not very sure that everyone would have been able to think of such a topic, such a session in an FDP for engineering. Thank you, sir, for providing me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Krishna madam. You have given consent to join with us and make all of us stress-free because our today's life is having full of multiple activities. Even if you look at the faculties are involved all about 20 to 25 different activities. And these activities will create some kind of a stress in them, and stress-free sessions are always necessary. We have conducted from 9:30 to 3:30 technology continuously, so we require your session to make all of us stress-free.
Thank you, sir. Okay, coming to stress. All of us have a few conceptions in our mind regarding stress. And most of these conceptions are not very good. That is what I know. But what we don't know about stress are a few things that I would like to begin with. In fact, I had already posted my presentation yesterday in the group. But before moving to all that, technical part and details about stress, I want you to answer one question. The question is, how many of you have experienced a lot of stress during the past couple of years, as a faculty member, maybe as a student of PhD, maybe at your home, anywhere. But how many of you have experienced a lot of stress in the past couple of years? Can you please raise your hand because I'll be able to see your. Okay. Kalpesh sir has raised his hand. Fine, then second is mine, you know. So, okay, another participant is there. Oh, this is very good. Only 3 of us or 4 of us, okay. Okay.
No, I think there is some confusion. They understood it in this way that they want to speak something about the stress, what they have experienced, you know. So just you say that, you know, hands on if you have, if you are stressed somewhere, you know, in past 1 year, yeah. Then I think all hand will raise.
Yes, that is true. Yes, okay, so I was just asking, how many of you have experienced a lot of stress? You know, only that much. Right now, I'm not asking you to answer. I'm just asking you to raise your hand if you have experienced stress in the past couple of years. Okay, fine. Yes, so many of us. See, hands are coming up. Yes. Okay, so all of us are so familiar with stress, you know. Now, we have experienced a lot of stress, and in that stress, we have not felt very good. You know, we are so under pressure to reach somewhere, to conduct classes on time, to conduct internal tests, to set question papers, to prepare results, to do online marks entry. These are the common stressful situations of faculty members. And in addition to that, of course, the COVID-19 situation has also created a lot of stress because we are also scared. We are scared to go somewhere. We are scared to go to college, to our family members' homes, you know, our relatives' homes, visiting our friends, meeting them. And in fact, friends are stress busters. When we meet friends, we become free from all worries and tensions. But COVID-19 has also taken away that from us. So it has also created quite a bit of stress. So we can say that 2020 has not at all been stress-free. We have been scared to go out of our homes, you know, meet people, even if somebody meets us. And in fact, if they offer their hand for a handshake, we are immediately stressed. Oh my God, what to do? We cannot shake their hand and we cannot even refuse to shake their hand. So this is just one small situation, but there are multiple situations where we experience a lot of stress. Fine. Now, the common conception is that stress is harmful. And yes, so many times it is, because a lot of stress may give you a lot of disorders, even cardiovascular diseases, and that all is already enlisted in my PPT. But there are some positive things about stress also, which we have not tried to understand or which have been overlooked. And since, you know, most of you are students and teachers of engineering, you have not gone into psychology or psychological side or social study of human beings. And I too haven't gone deep into that because I'm a student of language. But one benefit that literature has given me is to analyze people around me, because literature, you know, involves the study of a lot of characters, whether it be drama, whether it be novel, whether it be poetry, etc. So literature has given me this benefit, but nevertheless, I have not studied much about stress. In fact, I had not studied much about stress till sir asked me to conduct a session on stress management. And when I was asked to do so, I thought that I should read everything that is available to me about stress. And in fact, I read a few very recent research articles. So like, so much research is going on, so much patenting, copyright, intellectual property rights are going on in engineering. In the same way, so many psychological studies are conducted in various parts of the world. And while reading some of them, I was completely astonished to read a few things about stress. In fact, one very current study about stress tells you that stress is harmful to you only if you think that stress is harmful to you. So we keep on reading about positivity, and we think, okay, positive thinking would boost our immunity, positive thinking would help us better to cope better in our life, etc., But we don't think of positive thinking much in terms of physical effect. But actually, it has a lot of physical effect. It is not just important for happiness. As I already told you, we are always so hard-pressed for time. We have time crunch. We don't have enough time for ourselves. We do not have enough time for our family. And we think that working is a must and we need to work so hard. We need to finish this and finish that. There are a whole list of deadlines. That is true. But amidst all this, if we do not find a few minutes for us during the entire day, we do not function properly even in our other work. This is what we miss out on. We put ourselves the last in the priority list, job, family, and so much work, outside work, household work, college work. But we do not put ourselves on the list. And we are at the bottom of our list. And we think that this is fine because we are working so much. And then we wait for vacations. And in vacations, then there are other things coming up. There are other responsibilities. And so many times for months altogether, we cannot find time to think for ourselves. So that is, one main reason for stress also. Constantly thinking about work, about responsibilities, about deadlines, they create burden here. Now, this burden we can deal with in many ways. We can think, ye hame karna hi hai. But we fail to see the other part of it. Now, the other part of it is that you have since seen symptoms of stress, When you are stressed, your heart is beating faster. Your heart is pounding. Sometimes you are sweating. Oh, dora, dori, dora, dori. There is a lot of sweat. Then you're also breathing faster. You don't know. Sometimes you even fail to notice that you are breathing, but you are breathing faster. Now, all these are signs, very clear-cut signs of stress. And you think they are bad. In fact, they are. Because they may, stress actually, you may not know. But when you are under stress, your blood vessels contract. They stiffen. They become hard. Instead of functioning smoothly, they become stiff. They do not function properly. And that is why acute stress causes a heart attack or a brain stroke. But you don't know that these symptoms also have a positive sign, but you have to look at it from that point of view. Then only you will attain the benefit. Now, when your heart is pounding faster, it is sending more blood to your body parts. When you are breathing faster, your body is trying to take in more oxygen so that it can function properly. So these things, if you look at it from that point, that your body is preparing you to work better In fact, you will be surprised to know that if you think that your body is preparing you to cope with the environmental stimuli or, stress basically, then your heart, your blood vessels do not stiffen. सिर्फ इतना ही difference है, stiffening of blood vessels. If you think stress is bad, if you think your heart pounding is bad, then your brain sends signal to the body that, oh, something bad is happening, and your blood vessels will stiffen. But if you think, oh, kuch nayi cheez ke liye my body is getting prepared, oh, I'm receiving more energy, oh, I'm going to work better, at that very moment, your brain will send signal to your body that something good is going to happen and your blood vessels will not stiffen. This is a medically proven phenomenon. In that case, in fact, your brain will think better, you will get new ideas, your coping abilities will automatically increase, your positivity will increase, and you will be able to work better without the side effects of stress. Dekho, the situation is the same, and we fail to notice how we look at it because we are not thinking properly. कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं? We are just trying to finish work. That situation is bad for you. The same situation, if you look at it as a way to cope up with stress, is good for you. So who says stress is harmful? It is not harmful. In fact, psychiatrists and medical practitioners, dekhna, I'm not just talking about literature or sociology, no. Psychiatrists and medical practitioners, doctors in this field, conducted a survey of people that went on for 5 years. And they prepared various questionnaires and then they studied those people for 5 years. Those people were the subjects of a research. In that research, everyone was asked, who is stressed? How much is the amount of stress? And who thinks stress is harmful? And who does not think that stress is harmful? At the end of 5 years, those people who were under a lot of stress and thought stress to be harmful were all adversely affected. In fact, more than 40%, okay, these are not my figures. These are statistics that are a part of a survey, a research. More than 40% of those people, they experienced either cardiovascular diseases or acute psychological disorders. Now, those people who did not think that stress was harmful, out of them, in fact, most of them, almost all of them, they had no physical or psychological issues. They did not have any issue. So you have to decide. Stress will be there, you cannot say that stress गायब हो जाए. That is not
शाम में देखना एक बार, शाम में मुझे कॉल करना. एक्चुअली मैं ना 2-3 दिन से बाहर हूँ, अभी मैं बाहर हूँ. ठीक है, तो या तो शाम में या फिर कल मॉर्निंग में. ठीक है ना? हाँ, आप एक बार है ना 6 बजे कॉल कर लेना शाम. ठीक है, ठीक है.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So what I was saying was that I talked about a research. I talked about a situation where you think stress is harmful to you. And I talked about a situation where stress is not harmful. So what I was coming to was that when you think that I will be stress-free, in fact, you can devise ways where you can be stress-free, but in modern life, it is not possible to be completely free from all stress, unless and until you go to the Himalayas and meditate. आप सब कुछ छोड़ दो, वन में चले जाओ या हिमालयाज में चले जाओ, वहां पे जाके meditation करो. Then yes, then there will be no stress at all. But if you are here, if you are working, which we all are doing, then you cannot think of a situation where you will be completely stress-free. here or there, or at some point of time, there will be circumstances which will stretch you out. In fact, that is why you have already seen my PPT. I have taken up the reference of Benjamin Franklin, who says, I quote, "Stress is often termed as a 20th century syndrome born out of man's race towards modern progress and its ensuing complexities." I unquote. So he says 21st century is a time where man is racing, where human beings are constantly progressing, and whether it be space, whether it be engineering, whether it be medical science, we all know that so much progress is taking place, has taken place, and will be taking place. For example, recently I read about, of course, I know about a 3D printer. It's very common. All of us know. And as engineers, you would know better about 3D printers than I know. You would even know the spare parts and functioning of 3D printers. But I read a very good medical article about a 3D printer. They are trying to put actual human cells, stem cells, and prepare an ink, printer mein jo cartridge hai, that cartridge which will be filled with these cells or tissues. Now, I don't know, you may be familiar with the phenomenon, but I'm not very familiar. I was not very familiar with it until I read this before a few days. So what they are doing is that they are trying to make actual organs with the help of a 3D printer. And they are starting with simple organs like our outside ear, There are accidents where people's ear is chopped off, a little bit of nose, or, some part of face is chopped off. And as human beings, we've always been conscious of how we look. In fact, our personality, our body language is very important to us. So people want to do plastic surgery, and plastic surgery is very old. So that all is possible, skin grafting and all that. So I'm not going into that. But now the 3D printer is being used to actually make an ear. So the cartridge is filled with, so the tissues or cells are taken from your body. The exact measurement of your ear is taken, a mold is prepared, and that entire design is made on the computer. And then with a cartridge that is filled with human tissue, it is printed, directly printed, tuck, 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 and an ear comes out. And that ear is grafted on the person who has lost the ear. And it is going to be so much simpler. Like laser therapy now, laser treatment is so pain-free. It's a wonderful technology. Same way, this is another, and in fact, experiments are on at present as I speak. These experiments of making organs out of a cartridge filled with human cells and tissues, they are going on. But wo karne ke liye, how much research would have been done? How many experiments would have been done? How many doctors would have worked a day in and day out? And how much stress would have they experienced? When man first went to space, just imagine the amount of stress. How to send the shuttle? Will it reach or not? Will the person who lands on the moon survive or not? What will happen to him or her, Now, when you think of these questions, automatically stress comes. But if you think of it, as I said, in a positive way, what if we can land on moon? What a wonderful thing it will be. Then we can try to land on other planets. We can find new resources. It will be completely new avenue for humankind. Then stress prepares you for a new situation, and you're full of energy, full of positivity. So that is the first point that I wanted to make about stress. Stress is not harmful to you. Medical research has proven that stress is harmful only if you think stress is harmful. Okay, otherwise it will go into the category of eustress. I've already categorized stress in my PPT. Eustress and distress. Eustress is positive stress. And eustress mainly depends on your attitude. If you're thinking of stress as a means of something good, then you will experience eustress. And that will improve your performance. In fact, in the past 1 month, this is the third talk. This is my third talk. And by that, I don't mean to glorify myself. Why I'm putting forward this point is that when somebody tells me that, ma'am, please talk, and all these 3 topics were new to me. Now, first of all, I will never say no. I'll say, okay. Then I'll think, oh, I don't know much about this topic. So there will be some stress. Then there will be so many pressures of college and work. But out of that, I will think, if I think, oh, ye mujhe karna pad raha hai, then you will be able to view it on my face. Oh, this is a compulsion. But no, when you take it positively, oh, I'll get to know about this too. In fact, teaching is second learning. When you teach your students, concepts become clear in your own mind too. I've observed this so many times. So many times. In fact, while teaching, we all know that pehle se humne prepare kiya hai. But when we start teaching, we go off the track, we digress. This is because we keep on finding new examples, which make our mind clearer. Now, this is also one very positive thing about stress. When you think, कि oh, मुझे ये नई चीज करनी है, and if you look at it, oh, yeah, I'm getting to do something new, something out of box, then your brain starts working better. So then you think of new examples, then you think of new ideas, and then whatever you give to your students or, year to participants is much better than even what you had thought of. Taking this up, my constant buck will create more stress and boredom. So I want you to just take 2 or 3 minutes. And in those 2 or 3 minutes, I want you to write down in just 4 or 5 lines, not much, your experience of stress. For example, you can write a positive thing, you can write a negative thing. But एक ऐसी situation छोटी सी भी चलेगी कि आपने सोचा कि you are under stress, and then what happened or what did you do? Sir, 4 or 5 lines, 2 or 3 minutes. Can we all do that? This small exercise? क्या हम सब ये छोटा सा एक्सरसाइज कर सकते हैं कि we take 2 or 3 minutes to write down about one stressful situation that you have experienced कभी भी recently या और आपने क्या किया, इतना ही. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll just, looking at the clock, I'll just give you 2 or 3 minutes. जो भी आपके दिमाग में आए. Okay, I don't want an expert answer. Please don't look for an expert answer. Then I'll be responsible for creating more stress. बस सिर्फ इतना ही. And you share those 3 or 4 lines, 5 lines with me in the session. You can raise your hand and tell me. Can we do that?
You participants, you can unmute your mic, you can raise your hand, and then after and answer to madam's query.
Okay, I think people will do that. So I'm giving you 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes you come back. Okay? Hello. Is anyone ready with an answer? Any example of stressful situation you can give me? None?
I think that's a good situation. Nobody is having any stress.
Yes, that's a wonderful situation that you don't have examples. I in fact, cannot think of a day where no stressful situation has occurred. So for you, it's excellent. Congratulations, all of you, that you are completely without stress. Fine. No
But
problem.
I would say, stress is very much necessary to achieve the target. If you do not have any stress, you will not achieve any target.
Yes, you're very right, sir. Very right. In fact, without stress, you are not motivated enough to achieve new things, whether it be at your home or in your subject or in your work, any field. But unless and until you are under a stress, you cannot achieve new targets. That is a very important part of our life. Second thing.
Hello. Sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, when you are going for interview, so if you want to get the job, so most of the time we are in stress, right?
Yes.
So because we want a job, if you're not getting means I have to go for another one. But most of the time we are getting panicking because of stress.
Yes. Yes, the interviews, my God, they are real stressors. You don't know how you're going to perform. The job is so important to you. You don't know what the examiner is going to ask or the interviewer is going to ask. And your palms are sweating and there is so much stress. So wonderful example. Yes, one of the most stressful situations which any of us have underwent is an interview. Wonderful answer, sir. I think Subbaraj, sir.
Yeah, yes. From Panimal Engineering College, Chennai.
Oh, wow. Thank you, sir.
So funny ways we want to answer for means if you're going to get married, that's also one stressful thing I thought. So because of the surrounding.
Yes. Marriage, my God. Pre-marriage, post-marriage, everything is so full of stress. I completely agree with you, sir.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I see another hand coming up. Bhuvneshwari, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, when I'm Bhuvaneshwari working at IFT College of Engineering, Viluppuram, a part of Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
Whenever in our job, we have to submit anything, when we have hard deadlines, we are definitely put into a situation called stress. So fixing very hard deadlines for each and everything makes us really a stress one. So during that time, I feel very uncomfortable, and I don't know how to relieve from that stress which I get during that time period. So that is my actual stress which I face day to day in my life.
Very true, ma'am. Very true. In fact, work deadlines are terrible. You cannot take a break because you have no time for a break, and you're constantly working. You're not eating properly, and then with all that hunger, with all that stress, your thinking becomes so cloudy. Then you don't know how to finish the work, and you also don't know how to leave the work. So a situation that completely stresses you out are work deadlines. Very true, ma'am. Wonderful example. I see another hand. Mr. D.R. I don't know, sir, how you pronounce your surname?
Yeah. Ma'am, even though we are all teachers, we are actually well performed in the class, but some people have stage daring, maybe one of the stressful situation.
Yes. Class performances are they can really be stressful, especially when you're teaching completely new topics or you're a new teacher. A little bit of stage fear is there, and sometimes you're not thoroughly prepared with the topic because you didn't have enough time at that time. Yes, certainly. We cannot show it to our students then, that, oh, we are a little scared. And that causes more stress because you cannot show your stress. So, yes, absolutely.
There are two situations, ma'am. Teacher can perform in the class very well. But when he go for any function and try to speak in the on the stage. So there is a fearful condition how to perform in the stage.
Yes. In fact, as you rightly pointed out, we teach every day in the class, and still sometimes when we go on stage, it's scary for us. There are many reasons, because we don't know how the audience will react, the audience will like us or not, and just standing in front of an audience, my God, that is a little scary. You're absolutely right, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. We have another hand coming up. Mr. Prasad.
Hello, madam. I'm Vara Prasad from Nellore.
Okay.
Can you hear? Am I audible, madam?
Yes, you are audible.
I have a doubt that stress is essential, okay, for the development. What about the fear and anxiety? If the fear and anxiety becomes over and over, it becomes a disorder also. That anxiety disorders and OCDs and all these things will come proper. So how it will help us in our career, or can you explain that?
Yes, certainly, sir. In fact, if you have gone through my PPT, I have given negative effects of stress, in which there are cognitive problems, physical problems, emotional problems that are a result of stress. So fear and anxiety, they are in fact they are an integral part of stress. Stress comes because you're afraid of something. But if you can overcome the fear with your willpower and determination, I can do it, then it can help you also. But of course, fear is a very bad condition, and psychologically, phobias, if fear persists for a long time, or if fear is illogical, it results into a phobia. And phobia becomes not logical, it becomes illogical, and then it stays with you for so much part of your life, and it creates obstacles. People have so many phobias. For example, they have phobia of height, that are a result of constant fear of something. So yes, certainly stress, fear, if it is a result of fear, and if it persists over a long period of time, it is very harmful cognitively, because, as I said, your thinking becomes cloudy. In fact, those who do adventure sports, they can overcome their fear. Because first time, for example, if you do paragliding or parasailing, for the first time, the person will not be strong. There will be fear. What will happen? What if I fall down? What if the parachute doesn't work properly? What if I look from above and I faint? You know, what if my blood pressure shoots up? What if my heart, because of fear, will not function properly and I may get a heart attack? But for the first time, when they are doing it, they will overcome their fear and they will do it. And maybe they'll enjoy and maybe they'll repeat it. But people like me, I'm very scared of rides and heights, you know, so I don't try. Then I cannot overcome my fear. And if I am put into that situation, I don't know what will happen to me. So this is just one simple example of fear. There can be lots and lots and lots of examples, but you're very true. Fear can affect us so adversely. And in fact, they are a part of stress. But the only solution is the human will and determination. So if you do that, I think you can overcome anything in the world, you know, because it is rightly said that by a person who conquered Everest, that Everest is going to remain the same. But I am going to grow so I can conquer Everest, even though I have failed for the first time. So everyone has their different Everest, you know, our Everest may be our fear of something, our Everest may be whatever situation we are in, but we can conquer it only and only if we are positive. Have I been able to answer your question aptly, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes, it's clear. And one more thing is, hello, madam.
Yes, Mr.
Nowadays, the children are very addictive. They are addictive to the games and all these video games, computer games. So it is also creating obstacles in their career. So how, maybe this is because of psychological effect, or a kind of stress is created, or because of the fear of society and all these things. They may be getting some relaxation in this playing this. So how to overcome all these obstacles? How to make them free of these sort of games and all? Can you please elaborate on?
Sure, sir. In fact, sir, you have touched a raw nerve of all parents. You know, in this age, there are so many parents around us who have this problem that their kids are getting addicted to phone or video games or, you know, to internet. Now, there are many reasons. Number one, children, if they like something, as you said, they are addictive, they would like to repeat it. So it starts casually, you know, time hai thoda, chalo ek game play kar le, and then they like it so much that they keep on repeating and gradually they become addictive. So now we have some kids who do not mingle socially, who do not blend socially. They are into their room, or even if when they are with us, they are into their phones, you know, not just kids, in fact, so many adults, maybe some of us, maybe people around us. So this is a curse of technology. In fact, social posts are good because sometimes they are so informative, sometimes they are so entertaining, but getting addicted to WhatsApp or Facebook, that is not healthy. Getting addicted to games or Twitter, that is not healthy. You know, if you're constantly looking at WhatsApp status updates 10 times a day, that is not healthy. If you're constantly chatting, that is not healthy. And even while you're supposed to go out in the fresh air and become a little stress-free, fill your body with oxygen, even if at that time you're with your laptops or phones, that is not healthy. But children, the core issue is how to get them de-addicted. In fact, in the West these days, there are de-addicting centers, you know, like you have drugs de-addiction, you have alcohol de-addiction. In the same way, there are rehabilitation centers even for people who are addicted to technology or to phones or to their laptops, you know. They're like tied up with their devices. But there are other simple solutions that we can try at home The success of these solutions depends on a lot of factors. But one thing that children have forgotten is books. They are so into their phones, and these days all chapters and all e-content is also on phones, and with online teaching, my God, I don't know how we'll get them out of it. But even their study material is on phones, and they don't realize, but it's harming. First thing, it harms their eyes. Second thing, it harms their brains. But what we can do is that so many adults do not practice what they preach, and examples are always better than advice. If we take up a book and sit down with them, we can tell them, chalo chalo, ek bahut exciting story hai, let us sit together and read. That is a starter. Second thing, early morning or evening when the weather is cool and comparatively the pollution is less, you can take them to a park. Chalo na thodi der, put your phone away, let's go out. You know, in fact, if you look at my strategies for overcoming stress, this is also there, that a healthy lifestyle, and a healthy lifestyle consists of a balanced diet, and it also consists of going out in fresh air, doing exercising. You know, so take your kids out. Nahi, chalo, thodi der chalo. Just, you know, take away their phone and take them with you. So such things, taking them out, familiarizing them with new surroundings, you know, becoming their friends. The main issue with working parents is that they do not have enough time to spend with their kids. And it is a chief cause of their addiction also. If you are with them, if you see them holding a phone for a long time without just studies, if you are there, you will certainly do something. But we are not around for so much of our daytime. We reach late in the evening, and then we have a lot of household work lying in front of us, especially, you know, since this is still a patriarchal society, mothers would agree with me that they have to immediately go into the kitchen. Ghar pahunche, bath liya, and then into the kitchen. Kabhi-kabhi hum bachcho ko dekhne ke liye bhi free nahi hai. I think that one thing that we can do for their de-addiction is spending time with them. Automatically solutions will come. So, Mr. Prasad, have I been able to answer properly?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's clear.
You're welcome. Yes, so, you know, moving ahead with stress. In fact, I will go more into the medical part because my PPT has a lot of things and all of us are very good readers. So you can go through some technical things, but some medical aspects, I have not deliberately put them in PPT because they are difficult to explain with just putting 2 or 3 lines or just putting a slide. In fact, another positive thing, I'm not going to tell you about negative effect of stress. You already know the cognitive and physical problems, but I want you to deal with stress management. And that is why I'm focusing on positive aspects of stress, because if you do positive things, you can manage stress. I'm not saying you can remove stress, okay? It's impossible to remove stress. And it is not even essential to remove stress because, as like Sir said, that if you do not have stress, you will not achieve new targets. If you do not have stress, you will not improve your performance. You know, you may have seen some old teachers, you know, who have been in this field for a lot of time, who know everything, who have read all the syllabi, and, you know, they are thorough with their subject. If they are not put into stress, they will not read anything new. They will go to the class, give the same lecture every year. They'll come back into their chamber, pack their bags and go home. You do not want to become that teacher. And if you do not want to become that teacher, stress is important. So like Vitlani sir told me, you have to speak on stress management. I said, fine. And then out of that stress of talking about stress management in front of such a learned audience, I had to read a lot. And then I read about medical field also, because some common features of stress, reasons for stress, ways to overcome stress that we all know. These are very common. But if you want to manage stress, you have to understand this brain, you have to understand this body, because stress is here. You know, just reading about it won't make you manage it. You will be surprised to know that stress, like we discussed, not just improves your performance. Stress improves you as a human being. In fact, in Gujarati, you have a very famous poet, and I'm very sure that line is very famous. Hu manvi manav thav to ghano. We are human beings. Sometimes we are becoming robots. You know, with this all technology, with these deadlines, with constant work, we have turned into robots without even realizing. We are running, looking at the hand of the clock. Oh, 10:30, I have to reach at college. But you've forgotten that you're also a human being. Human beings can do great things. They have done great things. And in order to maintain your human quality, stress helps you. You'll say, oh, how is this possible? You may say that, you know. Stress releases certain hormones in our body. First hormone, you all know, adrenaline. You know, we are fond of action movies. Why? Because action movies are examples of pumping of adrenaline. You know, you're doing great things. You're full of action. That is a result of adrenaline being released by your hormones. So adrenaline makes you work. It puts you into action. First thing. That is why you can work better. And stress releases adrenaline. But if there is more adrenaline, it also, you know, clouds your thinking. So you have to take care that you're working, functioning properly and not getting confused. So then that is your purview. Second thing, second hormone, very important hormone, which is so much talked about in the medical field, is oxytocin. Oxytocin is a beautiful hormone. It makes you feel like, you know, at the cloud nine. It makes you feel absolutely out of the world. Its nickname, iska dusra naam hai Cuddle Hormone. Cuddle, you know, when you hug someone, when you hug your friends, when you hug your children, when you hug your parents, you know, when you hug your family members. That is the hormone. Oxytocin. Oxytocin makes you social. Oxytocin brings you closer to people. That is the hormone. And when you feel so much love, so much affection, for example, अपने बच्चों के लिए, you know, जो parents feel करते हैं, उनको देख के हमें लगता है कि चलो इनको hug कर ले, cuddle कर ले. That is because of oxytocin hormone. This oxytocin hormone is released when you are with someone you love so much, but oxytocin is also released when you're under stress. You didn't know. I also didn't know. Stress releases oxytocin. So when you're under stress, if you try to share with people, you will make more friends. In fact, it is a body's response to stress. Very natural response. When you're under stress, your body is telling you, don't bottle it up. Don't just put it in a box and lock it up. Let it out. Let it out. Talk to your friends, talk to your colleagues, talk to your family that there is problem. There is a problem. I don't know how to deal with it. Can you help me? You can come up with solutions. And just talking about it would free you from so much mental pressure. This is what most of us do not do. And that is why you're looking at figures of cardiac attacks, of brain strokes, and even of suicides. You know, so many intelligent people commit suicide. You think, oh, ye banda, ya ye bandi, wo to kitna intelligent tha. Why didn't he or she think of a solution? Why did they commit suicide? Oh my God. But one reason is they bottled it up. They didn't talk. In Greece, in fact, in very, very ancient Greek language, there is a word which so many of you, I'm very sure, would know. It is related to literature. It is related to medicine. It is related to psychology. Okay. The word is catharsis with a K. Catharsis is this, letting out. So the best example is the pressure cooker. हम लोग हर रोज घर पे यूज करते हैं. You hear the whistles of the pressure cooker. Along with it, some good aroma of food also comes. So मुंह में पानी भी आ जाता है. But वो जो whistle है ना, that is catharsis. Why? Because if the excess steam is not let out, as all of us know, it's a everyday routine phenomenon, then the cooker may blast. We are under stress, we are also that pressure cooker. So stress se deal karne ka one very important part is do not bottle it up. And that is why your body is releasing oxytocin. Ki jao, baat karo. Mingle ho jao society mein. Talk to you can talk to your boss, you know, who is giving you stress. In fact, Vetlani sir is principal, but he is not a boss who would give you much stress. I'm very sure. Of course, he has an organization to manage, so he may assign you work. But unse baat karo. Sir, you have assigned me this work, but I don't know how to go through it. I think time is less. Please guide me. Baat karo. That is oxytocin telling you. But what we often do is, हम boss से भागते रहते हैं. ओ बॉस उस कॉरिडोर में से आता है, हम दूसरे कॉरिडोर में से निकल जाते हैं. let us run, because वो हमें देखेंगे तो पूछेंगे, ओ मैडम वो वर्क मैंने सौंपा था, क्या हुआ? And then stress. So we run from stress. Running from stress is the worst way to deal with stress. Please don't run. You know, I know that all of you are so very intelligent people. You have been studying engineering. You are experts in so many ways. In fact, better experts than me in so many fields. You know, but so many of us run. I also so many times run. Okay, I'm telling you this, but it is a secret. Don't go out and tell anyone. But I also run from my principal so many times. वो चैम्बर में से बाहर निकलता है तो मैं स्टाफ रूम के अंदर घुस जाती हूँ कि सर देख लेंगे, कुछ फॉलो अप आएगा, and if I'm not ready I will run. But this is the worst way to deal with stress. पूछने दो ना उनको, फिर बताओ सर इतना काम हुआ है, but there is this hitch, there is this obstacle, what to do? Please guide me. He is a human being or she is a human being, they would understand. So don't run. And that is why this medical thing is oxytocin, the cuddle hormone that is released when you're under stress. So the most efficient way to deal with stress is talk it out. Talk it out with your family, if not with family, with your friends, if not with friends, with your colleagues, and even with your boss. Directly, baat karo, bas. That is one very effective way. Rest of the ways I've already mentioned. Laughing. In fact, laughing, one of my colleagues yesterday sent me a very beautiful line that laughter is a poison to stress. Very true. यदि stress बहुत बड़ी बीमारी है, you can kill it with laughter. Sometimes, I don't know, so many times, in work days, in weekdays, when you're running around, you forget to smile. You don't know. But जो लोग आपको observe कर रहे हैं, they'll know that this person has not smiled today. When I was working with GCR, I had this beautiful experience. In EC, there was one lab assistant. वो जो भाई थे एक बार उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि मैम Every day I see so many assistant professors and professors coming in, conducting classes, conducting labs, you know. But I observe कि इतने मतलब वो आसपास देखते नहीं है. They are looking at the watch, they are looking at the books, and they are so under pressure. They are running from this building to that building, and they don't smile. Ma'am, you always smile at me when you come inside EC. I said, oh, I didn't know. Now see, this was his observation. He said, I see that so many of you forget to smile. मेरे सामने देखते हैं, but वो मेरे सामने नहीं देख रहे हैं, because in their brain something else, some deadline is going on. That is why they forget to smile. It's not that they are not friendly. It's that they forget. This is what so many of us forget. We don't smile, and we don't know that smile, just smiling, you know. Sometimes you should smile at strangers also. In fact, on road, it would seem a little mad or insane. But you know, कभी-कभी ऐसा होता है कि we are so rushing, we are driving so fast. एक दो बार ऐसा हुआ कि मैं एक दो बंदे से टकराते टकराते रह गई, and the person was angry. And in fact, my natural response was a smile. I was a little laughing. Then that person also smiled. You know, actually we should have fought. कि तुमको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा, और उनको मुझे बोलना चाहिए था कि आपको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा मैडम, कैसे चला रही हो फास्ट. I was rushing to college. It was my fault. But when I smiled, he also smiled. See, simple. Otherwise, it was a stressful situation. क्या दिखता नहीं है? I would be, you're getting me more late. He would be, क्या देखे बगैर चली जा रही है? It was a stressful situation. Just a smile solved the problem. Listen to some funny jokes on net, on radio, on TV, while driving. Listen to something that you like, laugh, smile. It will kill your stress. In fact, another thing I want to point out is कि हम सोचते हैं कि constant काम करने से काम हो जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं है. All work and no play, you know, very, very famous proverb. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. If you constantly think about work, your performance is not going to improve. Take a break. 10 minute छोड़ दो. And छोड़ दो मतलब mentally भी छोड़ दो. छोड़ दिया, but if you're thinking of that, you're not going to be relieved. You are not going to be stress-free. 10 मिनट छोड़ दिया, टी ब्रेक लिया. Enjoy the tea. फिर टी की एक सिप लो और टी को एंजॉय करो बस. That is what so many of us do. We take a tea break when we are at work. That tea break can be very rejuvenating. But वो छोड़ के आना पड़ेगा burden. If you take your bags with you there also, तो फिर tea break won't work. So put it away. Smile at people. Talk to people. Laugh. Exercise. Have a healthy diet. In fact, healthy diet में क्या है? When you're working for long hours, so many of us do not take a proper breakfast or a proper lunch because we don't have time, or you know, in the morning we don't have time to prepare a tiffin, pack it and take it with us. तो बहुत problem है. फिर जो मिलता है खा लेते हैं. एक sandwich खा ली and चला जाता है पूरा दिन. And at night when you reach, you are so tired that in fact then you are not hungry. ऐसे बहुत से issues हैं. But if you do not focus on your diet, then not just your body will not help you, but your brain also won't help you, because there's a healthy mind and a healthy body. Simple, very simple. उसमें कोई ज़्यादा explanation की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You have to take a healthy diet. At least what you can do is pack some salad with you. That saves time. एक knife भी डाल दो. Put some knife and some spices. Keep a knife and spices with at your college, at your staff room, in your cupboard, and then you can just put in some potatoes and some coriander and cabbage ऐसे ही. And during the 30 minutes break, first 10 minutes, you can take your time to chop everything. You can take your time to chop some fruits, some salads, and in the remaining 10-15 minutes, you can eat that. All of us have half an hour lunch break. That is, I think, common. Sometimes even 1 hour lunch break. Then healthy diet. Without a healthy diet, you cannot be stress-free. Because if your body is not functioning properly, your brain is not functioning properly. And if your brain doesn't function properly, there is no way that you can manage stress. You will keep on going down, down, down. And it may ultimately lead to depression. So many people slip into depression, clinical depression. Unko pata bhi nahi hai. One big problem with India is in psychological problems. People are scared to go to a psychiatrist. They think, if I go to a psychiatrist, what will my friends think? What will the society think? What will my family think? That this person is going mad. Arre, ye psychiatrist ke paas gaya. Lagta hai, iska. Now ye banda is going mad or insane. Psychiatrist is not for the situation when you have already become mad. Psychiatrist is for a situation which will stop from getting you mad, making you mad, So when you think that you have trouble in controlling your anger, or you are getting angry so many times during the day or during the week, consult a psychiatrist. Very simple. Pata nahi, aajkal mujhse anger control nahi hota hai. This is what the psychiatrist is for. Then, for example, we talked about phobia. I have a phobia of rides and height. So, I should go to a psychiatrist and talk. Simple. I'm afraid of heights. Why? I don't know. How can I overcome that? This is what the psychiatrist or a psychologist is for. Talking about, in fact, there's a huge difference between the psychiatrist and the psychologist. One is a medical field, one is from arts who has taken up psychology as a subject, but you can talk to any of them because they basically deal with human psychology. But in India, this is a scar in the Indian society. And one huge problem is we constantly think of what others will think. This is also a cause for stress, I tell you. If you're thinking, oh, my family kya sochegi? Oh, what will my colleagues think? Or, oh, what will my boss think? Or what will my parents think? Then you have already created one big stressor that is going to be with you for your entire life. Now, if you are thinking about what others are thinking, what will others do? That's a very famous, again, line for a joke. तो आप क्या सोचोगे? That puts you into a box. That will set boundaries. I don't have to do these things. I cannot do this because the society will think it's bad. And that is where, social standards are stressors. They are huge stressors for us. Indian society has set certain standards for us as teachers, for us as men, or for us as women, and if we are constantly following these, we want to be accepted by society. We are social beings, so we want that society should accept us, society should praise us, society should consider us ideal, maybe as role models. And that is why we are within some boundaries. मैं ऐसा नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि जो मन में आए करो. That is not what I am trying to say. But what I am trying to say is that if you feel something is right, then you do it. Just because society stops you from doing something, you should not stop it. That is why one very beautiful word, I love that phrase. One very beautiful phrase in language is gut feeling. Gut feeling. We say, "Mane gut feeling thai je ke aa barabar che yaar." Now, that gut feeling is very important. What we do is we ignore our gut feeling. The phrase is very beautiful, I said, because it is a medical word and it is a psychological term also at the same time. Gut is, your intestines. So many of us do not know that our guts, our intestines are our second brain. Yes, they give us thoughts. They give us a kind of intuition. And I'm not saying this just because, I have felt it. it is a proven medical explanation, and I believe in knowing our body. That is why I read medical articles also, like I read technological articles, because we work with computers, we work with phones, we work with internet. And I don't believe in compartmentalization of knowledge. Yeah, I belong to English literature. I'll only read English literature. English literature I love. I read it for most of my time. But we have to channelize ourselves in other fields. Read from other fields. And very important thing is knowing yourself. And knowing yourself starts with knowing yourself physically. Then फिर आत्मा और मन और वो सब समझना है. पहले तो body को तो समझो, which works for you day in and day night. 24 hours you make your body work. And you ignore this body, you're never going to be happy. So the gut, our intestines, if they are healthy, they will give you positive thoughts. And if they are not healthy, they will make you uneasy, uncomfortable, and in that situation, nobody can think properly. Okay, so that is why a healthy mind and a healthy body comes from there also. You eat very healthy food, your intestines will be healthy. Your gut feelings will certainly improve. And your gut feelings are what guide you through life. Aapka computer ka knowledge is not going to be helpful when you are under a stressful situation at home, for example, with your husband or wife, for example. But your gut feeling, ki mujhe aisa karna chahiye, this is right, this is good for me, this is better, that is going to guide you through life. That problem solving skill comes from your gut feeling. That is why your guts are called your second brain. तो उस पे भी ध्यान दो. So, stress is not just an outside phenomenon. Stress occurs because of outside changes. There is a stimulus that is not in your control, that is out of your reach, and that is why you feel stress. But stress is also how you respond to that stimulus. If you can positively respond, as I said, it can turn into eustress, which can increase your performance, which can a positive attitude, which will help you in doing new things. You have this adrenaline that motivates you. And if you look at it as, oh, mujhe yahi karna padta hai pura din, oh, I am never free. If you engage in that kind of thinking, stress is certainly very harmful, very, very harmful, to the extent that it can take away your life. It can cause, as we discussed, cardiovascular diseases. So it's totally on you. You cannot remove stress from your life, but you can manage it. You can manage it very well. You can use stress to improve your life and work fundamentally and hugely, massively. And it can go this way or that, it depends on you. That is my idea of stress. And that is also, there are so many researches and analysis and surveys that have been done in medical and psychological and social fields. So this is my perception of stress management. I would invite you, if you have any suggestions, opinions, additions. Human beings are never perfect, that is why we are human beings. I may have missed out on so many things. You can add to the knowledge of all of us. I invite suggestions and questions from you. The house is open for discussion.
Hello, madam. Hello.
Yes.
You said that gut feeling. That's a wonderful thing, madam. I think this comes from the evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology. So our mind is connected with our body, and to evolve better creatures, I think these things will help us. And the stress is one of the part in that. Is it right, madam?
Yes, certainly. It is a part of our evolutionary process because, in fact, physically, if you see, the brain has grown over the centuries. I don't know Darwin's theory is completely correct or not, but the brain has certainly evolved, and stress has helped because there were outside phenomena like, the rough weather, predators. So there was a lot of stress on the caveman. If you go to primitive man, the caveman was scared of lightning, of thunder, of heavy rains, of floods, and of forest fires, and of violent animals, wild animals. And then the brain developed as a response to this stress कि चलो एक घर बनाए. They lived in caves, then they started constructing huts and houses made of stone, and then gradually houses made of bricks, and now we have very beautiful houses that we live in. So yes, stress certainly has evolved our brains and evolved our techniques of living in this world. Very right, Mr. Prasad. Excellent point brought in, the evolutionary process and stress. You want to add, sir, to this?
No, madam. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. All of you can say whatever you like, Don't feel the stress of always being very perfect and very perfect and good. You can say whatever you feel like. This session is for stress management, so you should certainly be free from all other kinds of thoughts. Just express yourself, whatever you want to express.
Yes, good morning, madam.
Yeah, very good morning.
Yeah. Madam, myself, Shakil. I'm working in one of the college of Maharashtra as a dean of academic. So my question is, because of the huge work of the department and huge work of academic level of the college, so at the time of sleeping, I'm getting a stress. I am in the mood of thinking about the works only. How do we remove such a kind of stress?
You're constantly thinking about work, right? Your voice was a little. Yes. That's what I said. This is a huge problem with us. We're constantly thinking about work because, like Sir said, he is handling so much departmental work and he has a lot of academic deadlines. So, when the simple solution is, sir, when you take a tea break, 10 minutes, mat socho. Just look at outside your window, or yes, you want to add something, sir?
No, madam. You give me the suggestion.
Yes, sir. यही मैंने बोला था कि it's so difficult to not think about work, but वही हमें cautious रहना होगा. We'll have to consciously leave aside work for 10 minutes. 3 घंटे काम किया, छोड़ ही दो 10 मिनट, कुछ मत सोचो, जो होना होगा देखा जाएगा. In fact, we can see that people retire, so many people even pass away, but the show goes on. तो ऐसा सोचो ना 10 मिनट के लिए कि मैं हूं या नहीं, अभी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. People can replace me. छोड़ दो सब कुछ. Leave all worries. Just have some coffee or tea and maybe look at nature. In fact, we so many times forget to look outside. We just, if for 5 minutes we look outside our window and observe the sky or whatever view is there, except the parking, don't look at vehicles, otherwise ghar yaad aa jayega. Then in that case, just go to a place where you can really see the outside scenario. So sirf 5 ya 10 minute with nature or a cup of coffee and tea and listen to music. Phone mein aajkal to bahut we have so many facilities, like YouTube chalu karke sirf ek song with tea, and at that time do not think about anything else. Just 10 minutes, 1 or 2 songs, you, coffee and nature. And this is my suggestion. I think this will work.
Okay, madam. Very good suggestion. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. we can see, you know, some people are on hold. It's not that they are not interested. The problem is so many phone calls coming in from work. In fact, you must have heard my phone also ring thrice. So I had informed at college that today I have this talk, and instead of reaching at 10, after the talk is over, I'll come, because there are sometimes connectivity issues at college, and our college time is 10 to 5. So when this talk would start, I reach college, staff room would not be open, and there would be so many issues. So मैंने बोल दिया था, फिर भी 2 calls have already come in. So देखो, we are under so much stress that even while we are talking about relieving stress, we have to attend to phone calls. This is an example of our work life, and it's nothing bad, but it's, you know, I really sympathize with all of us. कि हमें खुद के लिए time ही नहीं है. What to do? We'll have to find time. That is what I strongly believe. You will have to find time for yourself. Even if you want to work efficiently, you will have to take a break. Yes, anybody else wants to chip in, put something, add something, ask something? Please do.
Madam, you know that our cities are becoming overcrowded. And in this, we are in a third world country, like poverty also makes many stress feelings, and even this affects our students and our psychology and society, people in the society as a whole. So how to overcome this? You see that especially this city urbanization is also creating a lot of stress.
Excellent point, sir. Excellent point. Something that has been also troubling my mind for the past so many months. Like you talked about urbanization and crowds, pollution, and we do not have pure air, we do not have pure land, we do not have pure water, we do not have pure food. So how in this state can we remain healthy? And with all this bhagdod, mentally also we cannot remain healthy, and physically, because of all these things, we cannot remain healthy. In fact, this point has been troubling so many intellectuals for the past some time. With more and more people realizing this, there will be better use of resources, you know, renewable resources to decrease pollution, I think, but that is in the long run. At present, we are stuck in this situation. So ऐसा सोचना कि चलो, we are now going to use more solar and wind energy, and we are not going to use fossil fuels, and crowds are going to decrease, or you know, वो सब बाद की बातें हैं. But right now we are stuck in this situation. In fact, 2-3 चीजें personally I have thought of. Number one, I'm going to start a kitchen garden. Okay, I've purchased some earthen pots, huge pots, and I'm going to grow some vegetables at home with organic fertilizer for pure food. So because I know outside vegetables are not free from pesticides. So for a long time, my body has been consuming these synthetic chemicals, which are going to cause health problems. And so many cancer cases are going up because of these. Second thing, jab chutti hai, during holidays, even if we cannot go very far, just take a drive outside the city and sit in fresh air for 2-3 hours. Khana saath mein pack karke le jao. No, we need not go to, you know, a beautiful hill station or a beach as a holiday, or to an exotic place. But you can just move out of your city. For example, I stay in Rajkot. So sometimes we just go on and on Kalawad Road until some place which is totally open comes up. And in that place, we go and sit. In fact, I also have a few friends who have farms. So वहाँ just farm में जाके हम बैठते हैं. खाना भी साथ में carry करते हैं, पानी भी साथ में carry करते हैं. So some time in fresh air. One thing. For water, I know we have water purifiers. For food, kitchen garden is the best option. We all grow ornamental plants at home, and they are easier to grow. They don't require much maintenance. But a kitchen garden requires some maintenance. You have to put some organic fertilizers regularly. You have to do the weeding. But at my home, we have started. We have sown some seeds and they have germinated. Abhi chote chote itne plants hain. So I hope they will grow, and I'll be able to get some pure food. And this is one way of dealing with that. And related to crowds, I don't know that if there's much solution, because people go to work and the population is ever increasing. So for crowds, there is not much solution. But for fresh air and food, there are these one or two solutions. Have I been able to answer your question, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay.
And the children are more affected.
Yes, certainly. Yes, in Delhi, for example, so much of there was newspaper coverage before 1 or 2 years that so many kids are developing breathing problems because the air has become so impure. Now, what to do? That is a huge issue. You cannot leave your workplace. Aap kya khaoge, kya karoge? So you have to stay in your workplace. For example, those who work in Delhi cannot leave Delhi. But the air has become so impure that the kids are getting impacted. And if the kids are not healthy, how can we expect them to achieve bigger things or work for society or nation or become masters in their own fields? Very difficult. It's a hazard that we are facing. Absolutely right. Children are the group that are affected the most. When we were kids, it was not so polluted. हमारे यहाँ स्ट्रीट हुआ करती थी और हम शेरी में खेला करते थे. We used to play in streets with friends. We cannot do that now. We cannot allow our children to play in streets because there is constant traffic even in streets. Some cars and bikes are going at breakneck speed. How can you allow your children to play in such streets which are not safe? So yes, children nowadays, my God, the crux of the problem. Very true, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Something?
Yes, somebody is trying to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Me from St. College.
Yes, ma'am.
Somehow I feel the stress levels is something which we invited on our own, particularly when we come to the concept of ladies coming out and doing their work. In olden days, ladies just used to handle all the household activities. They just used to have only the stress related to cooking or something like that. And particularly nowadays, when they came out and they started doing work, so the stress related to many other things which only only male used to handle in the olden days, or all the stress levels which the ladies are also handling. It is to just think that this much level of stress is something invited by lady community.
Excellent point, ma'am. Excellent point. As ladies, all of us have experienced कि हम बच्चों को handle करते हैं, घर को handle करते हैं, work को handle करते हैं, and we have invited a lot of stress by going out and working. Very true, ma'am. But the point where I differ is कि where is it written? What scripture has guided us, or what universal law has guided us to tell us that men cannot handle household work? My question is that. Now, the problem was, the problem that you stated is absolutely right. We are overburdened, and so we have invited stress. Absolutely right. But मेरा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जब हम सिर्फ घर का काम हैंडल करते थे, when we were just inside our homes, men considered us inferior, didn't they? They told us, oh, what do you have to do? You just have to cook and I go out and earn. They had this financial power. Finance is power. Money is power. So money was in their hands, and you wanted pocket money, you had to ask them, oh, I want to go to the beauty parlor. You know, still housewives would have to ask that. Could you please lend me 1,000 rupees? And the husband would say, 1,000 rupees for just beauty parlor? You are already beautiful. You don't need so much money. You say, oh, I just want to relax. I want to get a massage, not for beauty, but I want to get a massage to relax. But then the money is in his hands. The decision power is in his hands.
Yes, that is the actual reason why we came started working. Definitely came. There is no doubt about it. But but see, because of financial independence, nowadays people started thinking that just because of financial independence, we are our health by inviting so much stress.
Yeah, but it's not just finance again, ma'am. So many of us are so talented. If you use that talent just for cooking, isn't it injustice to you?
Yes, of course.
Yes, you won't have that satisfaction. If you're not satisfied, how will you be happy? Happiness is what matters, and happiness can come only if man and woman, they live, they work hand in hand. Man को समझना है कि oh, my wife is working, my wife is also contributing to the betterment of the household and kids. I will also chip in. I'll do a few things. Who says I cannot work at home? I can work it outside. I can work at home also. Now, when this perfect understanding comes, there will automatically be a lot of stress management.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Stress management. Yes, stress management is, people understanding each other. Otherwise, we will have to bear this burden of stress.
Yes, that actually is differing in all the states. Some states do accept ladies are having a lot of stress also, and they do definitely help the women at home. But some states I've been observing, because I travel all through the India, so I've been observing that some states men are not so
cooperative,
worrying about the stress levels that.
Yes. Very true, ma'am. At present, transition is always a phase which is good, and transition is also a phase which is stressful. Every transition is stressful. So we have transited from just being in homes to going out and work. But during this transition, men have not so changed. Some men have changed, as you pointed out, some have not so changed. And that is why we have additional burden and stress of our work and of our household and of our kids too. So when men will start understanding and cooperating, this stress will automatically go down. But in the meantime, we have to deal with it, and we cannot afford to get disappointed or depressed for the sake of even our kids. So you have hit the hammer on the nail. You're so correct that women are more stressful in these times, especially in societies like ours. In the West, everything has smoothly transitioned. They are in the next stage. Men and women are working hand in hand already. They are doing household work together, and they are working. In fact, there everybody's work time is 9 to 5. They don't take a lunch, elaborate वो थाली परोसी जाती है, वो वैसा वेस्ट में तो है ही नहीं. They have their lunch at their workplace, and it is always a working lunch and a very light lunch, because they are working and they understand that it's not necessary to have a full thali while working. So in the morning, they'll have a heavy breakfast and milk or coffee or fruit juice, and they'll go to work. And in the evening, when they come back, they'll have an early dinner, which will be nutritious and full. So, and there men and women are working hand in hand. So if you go to America or Europe or London, you will not see this problem. But in the Indian society, you're very right. There is some additional stress on women. I hope men who are listening to this conversation, please relate to our situation and kindly help your wives if they are working.
I would like to say something here, that definitely some men are so kindful that they really understand women so much. They help so much, and I give a salute to all of them. But still, there are some.
That's true. That's true. Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful discussion. I loved it, especially as a woman, you know, I directly related and connected to the problem. Do we have more discussion or questions or suggestions?
Thank you very much, madam, for relieving all of us from the stress. We are missing your smiling face at GEC Rajkot. And I request now Prapti madam to conclude the session. Prapti madam, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Krishna madam, for giving us such a wonderful and interactive session on stress management. I hope all the participants must have learned some tips and tricks to handle stress in their day-to-day life. Thank you very much for the special session. So I again thank you, madam, on behalf of everyone, and all the